This podcast is not sponsored or supported by any business or organization. The views reflected on these podcast episodes are my own. Please be aware I am not a medical expert, travel agent, or any other kind of expert. Hey everyone, welcome to the Eat, Explore, Love podcast. I'm Ashley. This podcast is based off of my blog of the same name, Eat, Explore, Love. It talks about the unique challenges in traveling around the world when you have celiac disease. Due to sort of popular demand, I decided to also record a podcast to delve a little deeper into my travels and the lessons learned along the way. Hi everyone! As we approach the end of the year, we are also approaching the end of Season 1 of Eat, Explore, Love, the podcast. It's been a wild ride with lots of adventures to share. We are taking the first few months of the year to regroup and figure out our next steps, and the Eat, Explore, Love team would love to hear from you. We have a couple of ideas brewing, but we want to hear from our listeners to see if there's anything that would be helpful for you. We're looking for any type of feedback, ranging from, should I look into getting a co-host? Would you like to be more of an active part of the podcast where I interview you guys about your favorite cities? Would you want to hear from more medical experts, travel experts, self-love experts? If you have any thoughts, we want to hear them at hieatexplorelove@gmail.com. We at Eat, Explore, Love appreciate all of your support and kindness in listening over the past year. That's 130 episodes that you've sat through and listened to. I've been so lucky to not only be able to go on all the adventures I've been able to experience, but I've been so lucky to have all of you to share this with. Make sure to sign up for our newsletter and send us an email at hieatexplorelove@gmail.com. Now, back to the show. Hey everyone, it's another episode of Eat, Explore, Love, the podcast. This time we're talking about Cleveland, and I always get to visit family when I'm going to Cleveland, so there's not too many places because we're usually cooking and not going out as much, but hopefully these are some nice quick suggestions as far as going to visit Cleveland, Ohio. When you're going to Cleveland, some places that you can check out are Coffee. Again, that's all links to those places you can find on hieatexplorelove.com. They have really good gluten-free bagels there. And Pizza 216 is another good pit stop for people to go check out if they want good quality pizza. Again, most of the time that I'm coming to Cleveland, I'm seeing family members, but some places that you can go and check out are Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I went there, loved it. Playhouse Square, if you're a theater lover, they have really good theater there. It's usually the tours, the national tours that are going through there. And A Christmas Story house is there if you're a huge Christmas Story fan. So hope you enjoy your time in Cleveland with these little different places that you can go check out and see. Traveling for the holidays when you have celiac is always a little bit tricky. I am very lucky that the family I go and travel to see on my maternal side of the family, they're very understanding and they make sure that everything that we eat is safe for celiac, and I trust them implicitly. There are some other folks in the family where on both sides that are not as understanding, and that always makes it difficult. And I know that this is the biggest plight for people with celiac, that when they go visit friends or family, that's always incredibly uncomfortable for them. So some tips and tricks of things that I could potentially recommend. I think it's just getting to know the people in your life and knowing them for who they are. I think, and that's not a bad thing. It doesn't mean that they're evil people. I know that Gluten Free with Coral, they have a couple podcast episodes with a lot of really great suggestions about what to do with the holidays. What I personally like to do is when I'm going to my aunt's house in Ohio, where my sister also has celiac, and she's been on the podcast before. My aunt is like super into the research of all of it and make sure that we are both reading in the ingredients together and that everybody feels comfortable in what they're eating. Unfortunately, what happens is other members of the family are not as conscious, and they're putting spoons from one gluten-filled dish into a gluten-free dish and contaminating. And although some siblings are fine with that, I'm really sensitive to that stuff. So we're learning as we're going each and every year, and luckily everybody's very respectful of that and learning and growing some of the time. And then there are other friends and family members that they don't understand. They don't really feel it's their problem or responsibility to understand, which fair enough. And in those cases, I have started telling people I'm just bringing my own food. And yes, there are people that are not willing to understand that or have an issue with that. I have had to learn that is their problem then if they can't be respectful of that. It's not me trying to be rude. I just know that if I've gotten sick at someone's home before, which has happened a few times, even when people have had the best of intentions, I just am now bringing my own food 90% of the time if there's food involved at a gathering, or I just don't go. And that's okay. And I think if you are an outsider listening to this, I think it's just learning that if you feel confident that you can follow all the protocols of what's needed for someone to eat safely when they have celiac disease or have an allergy, you have that discussion with them. And if they say no, thank you, then that has to be the end of the discussion. And I say that because they already feel uncomfortable with the position that they are in themselves, and they feel, people with celiac, I'll only speak for myself and a lot of other people that I've spoken to, there's this feeling of being an inconvenience, and it's embarrassing and uncomfortable. But I think the people with celiac have to kind of get past that. You didn't choose to be gluten-free. You didn't choose to have celiac. You didn't choose to have a food allergy. And you want to be able to enjoy, and everybody has to kind of be willing to compromise and play ball in whatever way that means. I've seen horrifying things that people post to celiac support groups of just family members that are incredibly rude and saying, that they don't feel that their allergy is real or whatnot. You can't change that person. So I know it's really hard to navigate that and wrap your head around, because I still have a hard time navigating that. But for me, when I am not at my aunt's house or not at my mother's house having Thanksgiving dinner, I bring my own food and make my own Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever holiday meal, or I just prefer to just be by myself and just chill out and then join later when I know that the dinner is going to be over. And I can't control other people, and if they are going to have a hard time navigating that, that's something that they've got to work through. It's not everybody that has celiac's job to make you feel, I can't be everybody's therapist in navigating through my own food allergy. I have to take care of me first and then go and take care of others. So that's my suggestion. I'm hoping to have a whole other podcast episode about tips and tricks for the holidays, but hopefully this is a little helpful reminder as we're gearing up for the holidays. Time for the wrap-up questions. Do I feel the city is safe for those with celiac? Yes. What is my favorite place to eat? I like Pizza 216. We've gone back there a few times. It's been pretty good. Favorite memory from the experience? I think getting to see my sister's first apartment as an adult and getting to see the places she likes to go in the area and just seeing a city through her eyes has always been my favorite experience. Is this a city to vacation to or live in? I'm leaning more toward live in. Absolutely. I think they're building up the city to be a better vacation destination, but I think living there is pretty nice too. Is this a city to relax or be active? I think relax. How are the people? I think New York gets a really bad rap for people are mean and all that other stuff. I've actually had a lot more experiences of people being rude in Ohio, but then when I meet Ohioans in other places other than Ohio, they are the nicest people. So hard for me to say. That's all for this week's episode. Till next time. Thank you for joining me this week for all the fun journeys and lessons learned on my big adventure called life. For more information on the different cities discussed, check out the blog posts on hieatexplorelove.com, posted every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you have any questions or fun stories to share, feel free to reach out at hieatexplorelove@gmail.com. Until next week, remember to eat well, explore the world, and love yourself. See you next time. This episode is produced, scripted, and edited by me, Ashley. Special thanks to Sarah Mientka.